We're heading off for the Discovery Sport event. All set to check it out. The new Land Rover. Here we come.
This out here is the D180 SC model with the R-Dynamic kit, 2-litre engine that churns out 430 Nm of torque. Notice it's an actual display in there. Look at this, the way it changes. Click menu, goes in OK.
And all of this is only possible in the Discovery Sport.
I'm here right now with the Land Rover Discovery Sport. It's been launched today and it has some phenomenal looks. A butchy design, a cascading grille, honeycombish is the actual look of it. LED headlamps with these U-shaped LED DRLs that wrap around it, just swinging around that side. You got air intakes on the side of the bumper here, just simply forcing their way in. A meshed up grille here at the bottom that even houses your parking sensors, as well as the diffuser-esque look with this little bit of a lip that gets created in the bumper. This design is what makes this car stand Range Rover's Land Rover away from the other pack. To move along the side, and what I have here are 18 inches. They're 235s, and when you look at them, you feel that they don't do justice to the size of this car. And I do find them to be of the smaller kind, especially with an SUV of this size. You do want them to be a little bit more bigger. The wheels are more conservative though. Let's move along the side. You have this indented shoulder line with the cutout of the Discovery badging. The shoulder line is so strong, you got another line that pairs up with it at the bottom of the door panel here. Overall look, it goes all the way to the front. At the back end here, we have these floating turn indicators, lovely LED tail lamps, crystalline elements in the middle of them. This out here is the D180 SC model with the R-Dynamic kit. You've also got this Discovery badging that stands out nice and loud. And a wiper at the back end of it as well out there. To pop open the boot, you just simply push it down here and it opens up automatically. Now the rear two seats are folded, so you've got decent amount of boot space out here. You've got a removable parcel shelf, you can just pop it open from there and it comes right out. You've also got a USB port charger out there, as well as a 12-volt charging socket on this side. On this side you have your AC controls with the AC vents up there when the seats are popped open. And down here is where we have our spare parts and fitting equipment, with the jack and all for the spare wheel. A couple of hooks make their way on either side down here, as well as at the front to stop things from moving around the boot. To shut the boot, you simply click this button once, and with a single click, the boot glides down and shuts completely. Now what if you've packed in your Discovery Sport with a hell lot of luggage and you're not going to be able to look? You're not going to be able to look behind from this glass. That's going to be the biggest problem, isn't it? People's heads is one thing. That's why Land Rover has come up with this, the clear side rear view camera. It's a first-in-class feature and it's been embedded in the tail fin of the vehicle, and I'm going to show you much more about it once we get into the vehicle. It gives you this camera view inside your rear view mirror on top. The vehicle that's here, like I told you, is R-Dynamic SE. It's been badged down here as well. You got these skirts that come on longer on the side. Really sporty look, much more sporty appearance than the other model. Chunky fenders on the side here as well. Really loads up the vehicle with much more size, just the way you'd want your Land Rover. Now the R-Dynamic kit continues with this blackened out finish of the scoop that is on the hood. It really gives a good contrast to this color, as well as black and the grayed out grille at the bottom. Two-tone is the way, and that's exactly the way they've put it. Let's get into the bonnet. Popping it open is really simple, just flips open like it's no weight. What's inside here now? 180 horses of a 2-litre engine that churns out 430 Nm of torque. That's really good torque if you ask me. You've got some nice insulation bit at the back end out there, keeps away all that diesel engine rattle from the cabin. Very well, an important part of the engine bay. Plastics are really polished with this new vehicle right here in front of us. Getting into the Land Rover now, what I first noticed is this fine stitched leatherette finish with this little bit of a raw wood finish on the door panel here as well. Let's just simply get into it. And what the first thing is, I've got a 10-inch touchscreen out here, a 12-inch driver's display on this side. Just look at the finishing of these elements. It's so rich. Everything exudes money everywhere. Rather rat finish along the dash, wooden sword along it as well out there. It just simply indents into it. This is that rear side mirror that I was talking about. It has the camera embedded into it. Just gives you a clear crystalline view of whatever's at the back. Rear view glass, the moment you flick it that way. You've got your brightness buttons underneath it. And then you can just simply increase or decrease. Oh, it's not a touch screen, but you can actually use these buttons. They're really handy and they've got tactile feedback. I've got my SOS call button out here, as well as an emergency call switch out here in case I break down the vehicle. And an ambulance shows up as well in case anything unfortunate happens. The armrest as well is a suede finish, the touch, sleek as ever. Pop it open and you see a couple of USBs in here, a 12-volt charging socket, a micro SIM for the connectivity features. You've got this removable sort of storage in here where the cup holders are hidden inside there. The stature of it is so good. I've got visors with vanity mirrors, which lights as well that have an on-off switch, and that's the same pattern that flows along the passenger side as well. Just look at the level of detail in this thing. A switch for those lights there as well. Got a sunglass hatch out here. Move right down into the glove region. It opens up. And you've got okay-ish storage in there. It's not a lot. You've got your memory function seat buttons on this side. They're pretty high up. You've got a speaker there. The door lock and unlock switches. Aluminum door handles. Look at all this finishing. It's so plush. The entire finishing is all glossy out here. My AC controls. Just look at the lighting around it. Look at the display that is embedded in the rotatory knob increaser. It goes up and down. The display is so neat and visible. Change the fan speed, you click that fan button, and then that's how you can actually adjust that. The temperature control comes on the moment you unclick it. So this is the level of detail that we're talking about. This is next level, next grade of in-car features, isn't it? Look at the amount of space. That raw wood finish comes along the gear lever out here. It's a stick this time. They've done away with this rotatory knob stuff. Look at the steering wheel. It's so ergonomically designed, just simply inclines its way towards the driver. Aluminum inserts all around it. Wraps it in soft touch materials. A 12-inch screen that's so high resolution to just simply look at. You've got your window controls along high up on the door panel. Soft touch there as well. Aluminum pedals down there. Richness is the look. With a click of this button, I can move my shade for the panoramic sunroof, which is so massive. The amount of light that comes in with this, it's just unreal. Look at the size of this thing. It's so lit. Blackened interiors with all this red stitching elements around it really adds to the look of this cabin. Speaking of the infotainment system, what I have out here are 11 speakers that come in this car, part of the Meridian sound system. So now if I want my Max to completely take over 12-inch estate area of space out here, all you need to do is just simply click this menu button, and you notice it's an actual display in there, this tiny thing. These are all LED displays, and these buttons flips back to menu. You got a cruise control on that side, your volume control options on this side. This is some high tech. Look at this, the way it changes. Click menu, goes in OK, you got your arrows that come up. It's just so fancy. So I get in a layout, I can actually choose 1 dial or 2 dial or the entire map. 12 inches of maps completely taking over the screen. Just look at the size of this thing. I mean, come on, you're never gonna get lost, and you'll always get to your destination if you have this on. I've got a couple of paddle shifters right here behind the steering wheel. I've got my Viper control on that side, automated, as well as all my light toggle switches on this stock stick out here. I can set it auto. Nice little buttons, aluminum finishes. Now quickly take a look at the infotainment system. It's a 10-inch touchscreen. I know there's a little bit of flickering glare due to the sun getting home, and the touch response is so sleek and smooth. You've got valet mode here again. Just like the Jaguar, you can set a pin if you're giving your car a valet and he cannot access your features. Get out of that, and you notice that the depth and array of features, it's just incredible. You got your Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, get a navigation, and just like that driver's display, it's so smooth. You got a parking sensor button out there as well. I've also got wireless charging in the center console. Keep my phone to charge. So this is some essential features. You don't need wires. Lovely wooden finish along this gear lever region out here. The entire design is that it's just simply built to last. That's the entire design language. Now Land Rover also has its very own connectivity app that lets you keep track of your car no matter where in the world you are using a phone. It's kind of a pity that we cannot take this car off on a drive today because of this launch event. We're gonna have to make do with whatever we have around here. And this is the key to the car. It stays the same across both variants. You've got your headlamp switch here, your boot opener, lock and unlock, hazard light button at the bottom. About to enter the back seat of the Land Rover. The seat out here is actually movable. I can get it forward, take it to the back, jump right into it. Shutting this door, nice and heavy door, gives you a sense that you're sitting in something so damn costly, isn't it? That's the main feeling. And I want to recline this seat, get more room behind me. I can definitely go behind. Leg room is really good enough. I've got this airplane kind of storage behind the back seat, just flaps open and closes. I've also got a 5-volt USB socket out there, a screen connector point out here as well. Headroom, just take a look at this space, it's immense. Massive panoramic sunroof floods the cabin with so much of light. I could see anything I want up in the sky from this back seat out here. Chunky armrest here at the back. Storage in it as well with the cup holders. Flaps open, soft touch. Comfort is good. The under thigh support is a little bit lacking, but overall it's decent enough. Overall it's really good. I've got these wooden finishes that continue along with the Meridian sound system here at the back. You can actually have a complete party right out here in the car. A couple of AC vents down here with the cooling as well as a heating function. No climatic controls though. Below the AC vents I've got a couple of charging sockets here. 2 USBs as well as 12-volt charging socket.
The Land Rovers, right?
Yes.
So here on the traction control, I just want to explain you how it works. When you're driving a vehicle in such kind of road condition and situation where your vehicle's 1 or 2 wheels will be up in the air some of the time.
True.
So vehicle senses the wheel which is up in the air doesn't need any power or traction. So it applies the brakes on the wheel which is up in the air and distribute the power to the other wheel which is there on the firm ground. So that's how the traction control works. Also,
Right.
these vehicles have independent suspensions. So when you see from outside, it looks a little scary and bumpy drive, but once we finish the drive going through this from articulation ramps, so I'm going to ask you
set.
how was your experience?
Whoa, it's a massive tilt, and all of this is only possible in the Discovery Sport.
So at this moment rear wheel was up in the air. Now my front wheel, my side is up in the air, and ram side's rear wheel will be up in the air.
Whoa, the car is totally up.
To just enable the ATPC, which is known as all-terrain progress control, which is a cruise control for off-roading, and you just have to show the track or path to the vehicle. Rest everything is done by the vehicle its own. To enable the ATPC, this is the button. To enable the
So we have our
ATPC all-terrain progress control. To activate it, to use the cruise control button plus, and to minus to set the minimum speed. And looking at the terrain, you can increase the little speed and just take out your foot from the accelerator and brake. Rest everything will be done by the vehicle its own. As you can see, there's a steep descent in front of us, and look at my foot. I'm not giving accelerator or doing anything.
It's all being
I'm
controlled by
just
the
holding
car.
the steering wheel firmly and showing the track or path to the vehicle. And by engine noise, you can make out the vehicle is sensing and doing everything its own. They are raising up the terrapod and making a steep descent for us. Using the hill descent control feature in the vehicle, what it does, it applies the brake on the individually wheels and control the vehicle speed. So that's how the hill descent control works. I release the brake and our vehicle will sense and apply the brake automatically for us.
Oh, I missed that shooting.
Oh god,
I missed that shooting. I just paused it.
what a blaze.
So hope you liked and enjoyed. Thank you
Absolutely,
very much.
thank you so much.
Do share your feedback. Take care and good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.